Alright everyone, welcome back. What I'm going to do is a quick little video here. The last one I did was really just for those of you that, had a shooting star or was looking into getting a shooting star. So that video is kind of short just for, shooting star purposes. So I'm making a new video. This one we're actually going to do I'm going to tweak one of my formulas. I have a recipe. I actually have about 3 different ones for fire crawl, and you see so many people, they got different versions of it. So so you can take this, you can tweak it, make your own out of it. Like I say, there's so many different versions of it. So this is one of my formulas, but I'm going to tweak it just a little bit. Hopefully I won't mess it up. I'm going to try to add something to it, and I'll show you what it is when the time comes. But anyway, I got plastic heating. Once the plastic's heated up to temperature and we got it ready, we will come back. I'll show you the molds and I'll show you what we're trying to do. Alright, we're back. We got the plastic heated up. I will try to give a little bit of advice in some areas. One of the things I've been seeing a lot lately on let's say Facebook groups and questions of new people, they say, oh, I'm new to it, I just started making plastics. After I heat it up to 350 and shoot, my baits are still like jello, they're not hardening. Really mix up your plastic. As far as if you buy it in the gallon jugs, or even if you buy it in the 5-gallon buckets, you really have to mix it up well. If you get the 5-gallon buckets, just get you a simple paint mixer. If you do straight in the gallon buckets, depends on who you buy it from. Something like this, an Arrow, works great. This right here was the one I used for years. It's simple, zip ties, it works. So anyway, mix it up really well for quite a few minutes. Depends on where you're at, the temperature and all. Do 2 or 3, 4, 5 minutes. I mean, whatever it takes to really get it mixed in. Because if you don't, you're gonna have that problem. Not just that, when you mix it in there, put it in your cups, you need to make sure, and I'll give you an example right here, and I know some of you have seen me do this in past videos, but you will see me, I'll take this and just go all the way around the edges, scrape the bottom. I mean, I want to make sure that it's really, like, get aggressive with it. I would rather introduce more bubbles and then have it mixed well than to, not have bubbles and then shoot it and it be tacky. That's just, to me, that's no good. But anyway, let's get into this. Like I say, we're gonna do a fire crawl, and I have a couple of I think I have 3 total different recipes for it, but this one I want to tweak a little bit. And in case I've never mentioned before, pretty much all I use is bait plastics 242. I was just looking, I very seldom ever use anything else. I did have some dead on left, but I've actually used all of it finally, so all I have is bait plastics. It's just personal preference. I like it better. It is what it is. Everybody's gonna have their opinion. Okay, here's what I want to do. Try to show you this. This fire crawl formula, I want to tweak it. I don't know, can you see that little bit of sparkle in the orange? That's what I want to add. try to do a little bit of sparkle. And I've used this brand before and it bubbled up like crazy, but I want to try it again, but in very small amount, you know what I mean, just to see if I can get it to pretty much hold without just bubbling up like crazy. I really think that would make it closer to a good color match for it. So what I want to do is I'm pretty much going to stick with my regular formula, you know what I mean, because I think it would be close, but I just want to tweak and add that, and hopefully I won't mess it up. Like I say, I remember using this brand. This is one of those I bought from I think Michael's, actually. Anyway, I bought a bunch of it a while back, and I've tried it one time, and it just, like I say, it introduced so many bubbles. It was so hard to work with. But I'm thinking maybe if I just barely, you know, just barely put a little bit in it just to try to give it that little sparkle effect. Now I have some crystal diamond I could add to it, but I'm hoping it will keep that same sparkle effect. If not, oh well, I'll know. But anyway, we're gonna get into mixing this up. Let me double check, make sure my temperatures are up. We'll do the red first. I might have to, I've been running my mouth. When you mix up 1 cup batches, they don't hold their heat quite as long. So I'll probably have to throw this back in the microwave because it's thickening up a little bit. Let's check. Yeah, I'll throw both of them back in, and then I'll mention a couple other things. I don't know if you can hear it. That wind is kicking outside. I actually planned on getting some work done outside this morning when I got up, and that wind, for what I'm wanting to do, that wind is blowing too hard. That temperature went yesterday. I was working outside, and hell, it was hot. I about sweated my ass off out there. And today it's like we had 100% rain blow in last night, and it dropped off really cold. So, well, let me stop complaining, because I know a lot of you guys was like, oh, you're talking about really cold. It is negative, you know, 11 or something. Man, I'm not built for that. So I'm gonna stop complaining, because it's not cold here compared to what it is for some of you. You know, I'm sorry, I'm not built for that. I'm a big wussy. But temperature feels different wherever you go, you know. I've been in some colder temperature a couple times that didn't feel as cold as it does here, but you know, I'm not built for real cold temperature. Here in Florida, Northwest Florida, when it gets below about 50 degrees, I don't like it. I mean, if I'm working, that's fine, but when it's, you know, 30 degrees or so, no, I don't do so well. All right, we're gonna be using MF Orange Pumpkin, Bait Plastics Red, and some Lure Works Cherry Red, and then just gonna be large and medium black flake. And it don't matter if it's square cut or not. I'm using a square cut just because I got plenty of it. Most of the time I just use a regular hex. All right, let's get back to this. I'm boring you already. All right, we're gonna do the red side first. This is 1 cup of BP red. We're gonna start with 12 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And when it comes to some of the colorants, like Bait Plastics, they're very thick, so you have to be careful, and they don't just drop out easy like say MF or some of the other ones. They're actually very thick, so you have to be careful when you're doing the drops, because you can squeeze it too hard and get some really big fat drops. All right, 12 drops of that, and then I'm trying to use up all of this. I have a big one, but I'm trying to use up all this one. This is going to be your cherry red. 16 drops of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And like I say, you can take this, make it your own. You don't have to follow this exact. I mean, this is just one of mine. So, I really don't think there's no wrong way of doing it. You know, you see a lot of people trying to make, you know, trying to make their version of fire crawl. So, and actually what I'm going to do, since I'm tweaking it, I want to take and just add a little touch of, and here I go tweaking stuff. I want to use a very small touch, and this recipe don't call for it, but I do want to add this. When I say a small touch, I'm talking about a very small amount. See if you can see that. That is like maybe a quarter of an eighth of pearl red. I just want to add that to it and see if that'll help get what I'm looking for. Like I say, the recipe don't call for it, so you can leave that part out if you don't have it. It might not really change it that much, but I'm thinking it might give it a little extra, you know, just that pearl look to it. So anyway, you can leave that part out. And anytime you use a pearl, yeah, that's what I'm looking for, a little bit of pearl. But anytime you use a pearl, make sure you really mix it up really good, because what'll end up happening, you'll get clumps, and you can wait a second, and those clumps actually come up. Like there's one right there. You just break it up. You know, I'll give it a minute and really, you know, make sure I got those done, because they will float to the top. Alright, we're going with the large black. Let's see, a quarter scoop. This is just an easy way to do it. And then a 1/8 scoop. You know, if all you have is a 1/8 scoop, then just do 3 of them. If all you have is a quarter, then just do 1.5 of them. You know, just do it whichever way is, you know, more comfortable for you. I try to clean off the, you know, before I go from one flake to the next, I try to clean it off so I don't transfer different colors or different sizes. And as far as the medium, all it is a half. Just a half of a 1/8 scoop is all I use. Alright, and that is it on the flake. Alright, let's give this a good stir. And I'm sure I'll have to reheat all this up. You know, that's just part of it when you're doing with these smaller cups. That is really just part of it. Alright, get me another. Okay, on the orange pumpkin side, I'm gonna put 40 drops. Make sure you're in frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See how that looks. Orange pumpkin is one of those colors I really like. It's, you know, it's one of those colors you can do a lot with. You can tweak it, add a little bit of, you know, other stuff to it to really make it stand out. Yeah, I definitely gonna have to heat these up. This is thickening it up a little bit. I actually think I'm gonna go ahead and heat them up before I put that that other stuff in it, because I don't know if it's gonna really, you know what I mean, really blend as good if I don't go ahead and heat them up. Because that little flake, like I say, it already, I know it's gonna bubble up. The reason it's gonna do that, I believe, is because it has so much you know, it's ground so fine that I really think that because it's so fine and it's more like a powder instead of a flake, like it's got moisture in it or something. I actually took a while back, but I never even used it. I have one of those in a bigger vial, and I actually dropped some of those I forget what they call them, those packets, you know, to try to pull out moisture. You know, I put one of those in it to see if it'll help, and I never even opened it to see. So I actually just thought about it right now. If it wasn't for that, I probably would have just grabbed it. Alright, let's see if we heat them up enough just to make this work. Alright, that one's good. Let's check this one. Yeah, they're both around 320. That's good enough for me to get this mixed up, and then I might have to, you know, pop it in there for another 20 seconds. Alright, let's see here. Boy, this stuff is like, it's pretty, but it is like powder. I just want to put a small amount in at a time just to see if I can limit. Because last time I think I put like a quarter or an eighth of a scoop in the plastic, and it made it bubble up like crazy. That ain't looking too bad. I think I'll be better off if I use it to do it like this. Just do real small batches. Altogether, I'll probably end up putting close to doing it like this, realistically, because of how thin it is, probably about a half of an eighth of a scoop. Yeah, I mean, I know it looks like I dumped a lot, but it's just a real small layer each time, so probably, like I say, probably a 1/16 worth. But I think that's gonna hold up. What I'm gonna do is actually, because the molds are cold and the injector are cold, I'm gonna put it in there for about, let's say 28 seconds. Alright, so that's, you know, besides the red pearl I used and that little bit of, you know, orange looking flake, that's one of my fire craw recipes. So you can take that, tweak it, whatever you want to do with it, if you want it. If not, then okay, you know, because you know, I mean, it's one of those, you ain't gotta copy nobody, but you can tweak it. You can add something small that is not in this and make it your own. You know, it ain't like you're just straight up copying anything. You know, you get ideas, because the way I look at it, there are very few people out there with their recipe that you know, didn't use somebody else's color for inspiration. You know, that's really what it boils down to, using it for inspiration. It's just part of it. Alright, come on now. This video was supposed to be short. We already almost on 19 minutes right now. But look, hey, we was building a color together. Try to do something like that once in a while for you. And hopefully this will turn out good. All right, I ran this one up to 330. Let's check the other one. Yeah, that's 329, so that's close enough. All right, let's see if we can get you in an angle to where you're not looking at my big ass head, and maybe you can see what's going on. Let's see here. Yeah, that'll work. All right. All right, let's see what we turn up with. And I don't know if there's gonna be enough plastic to do all these molds. So I'm just actually gonna skip. Come on, get in there. I'm gonna skip around. And you might wonder why I do it this way. That gives it enough time to maybe draw in a little bit before I cap it off. And what I mean by that is when we put the block down, it puts a cap layer over the top, so it's only able to draw down a certain amount. But anyway, this is the 4-inch chatterbait trailer molds, and that that slouch. Of course, the slouch I put in there backwards. It's all right. I just noticed that. Oh, didn't want to do that. I can tell it's already starting to set up a little bit more. All right, since I turned this one around backwards, we'll have 3 done right if it ain't too thick, because it's, yeah, it already hardened up on us. We ran out of time, but anyway, the 4-inch is what we were going for, so as long as we get some of the trailers good, I'm fine with it. I showed this in one video. This is what I do to help out with trying to keep the nose filled up. It works for me. It can be a pain in the butt sometimes. That's just to bust that top layer, because it's hollow underneath, because you're actually closing it up each time, you know. So that helps. Like, I know if any of you got this same mold, you probably had trouble with the nose, like you know, having a void, and it happens. It's just because, and that's if you're doing a it's mostly if you're doing the block, because the block sets flush. The only other way that I've done it where you're not, you know, messing it up, is I've got some and I've made my own. You can order some places have them, but they make a you can get like a sprue extender and just hold on to it, and I'll do it like that sometimes, but it can be a pain. But anyway, you can do it like that most of the time. And when I say most of the time, I'm talking like 95% of the time. I'll just do like you see there. I just use something like this. It could be anything, just to and you will still have some that might have a void in the nose. I mean, it's gonna happen, but it does limit that down a lot. So I'm actually curious to see how those three are going to turn out. Of course, I didn't top them off, but them three going to turn out that I had backwards. That might be interesting. So I didn't even pay attention to it when I stuck it in. I stuck the other ones in belly, you know, facing to the right. I didn't even look to see which way I had the belly facing on this Epic. That's a big fail on my part. You know, it is what it is. That ain't gonna take but just a second, and we will see how they look, and see if that I can see that sparkle in that orange. Woo! And this right here goes to show you, you know, how quick. You know, I could have heated those the injector and the molds up a little bit, because it was kind of cool out here. It wasn't real cold, but it's still kind of chilly out here. You know, it's cold outside, but anyway, inside the building it wasn't terrible. But it was cool enough that I probably could have just hit the molds and the injector with a you know, a heat gun just for a few seconds to try to limit the amount of or limit how fast it was going to cool the plastic down. So anyway, boop, let's see what we get. All right, we already know the Epic little 3.2 is going to be a failure. So matter of fact, usually I hang them up. I'm just going to go ahead and pop all these off. Let's see. And sometimes you can take and hold these up, and even though you what, these all these pretty much look good, but you can hold them up to the light and see if you had any voids. These pretty much look good, because when you bust it and pour more in there, you know, it tries to help it out. So all right, I want to look at the failures first. That actually, I knew that one wasn't no good, but that one right there, it messed up towards the tip a little bit. But you know what? Technically, I could use that if I wanted to. The tip is this is one on the very end where we was running out. Will I use it? No. But you could. But now these other ones, they turned out great, even though they're backwards. These other three are backwards, you know, but hey, whatever, I will use them. Yes, I will. All right, let's see if the trailers are any good. Yep, now they look fantastic. I don't know why I can't never get them off on one side. Because this right here, I'm gonna leave these in the mold. That'll be my thumbnail for that. But I think it looks pretty darn good. I'm trying to see if I can get where you can, yeah, you see that shimmer in the belly. Now that, to me, I think will work perfect. You know, I think that shimmy will work perfect. I probably could have, to get it closer to the jig, I probably could have went a little bit darker on the red. You know, but I think it's I think it looks really good. So let's slide those out the way. Look at this one, and then we can wrap this video up, because I know I have drug it out way longer than I wanted to. This one almost went. I'm gonna try to leave all of them in, and because most of the time for the thumbnail I reload them. I'll either reload them on the molds or reload some of them, just lay them out. So anytime I can get them to actually lay inside the mold perfect, that is a bonus. But let me show you something real quick. Oh, I know them, but you see every one of those nose are filled in all the way. Let me grab this other one and show you. Every one of those are filled in all the way. And this is just a tip. I've actually had this has been months back, probably 5 or 6 months ago. You know, I had somebody ask me about this particular mold. They had it and they were aggravated because of the voids in the nose. And if you'll do, not saying it'll work with every one of those top inject style like that, single ports. It should, but if you'll just take, especially if you're using a block, and that's the biggest thing. I very seldom have that problem using like just a single color, but especially when you're using a block, it shuts that off. It puts a little skin layer over it, and then the plastic sucks in. You got a void. But if you'll bust that and add, you know, just pour a little bit of plastic in it, it will solve that problem by probably 98%. You know, nothing's ever 100%, but it will solve a lot of that problem. But anyway, I think this is a major success. I mean, that is like a and that is thumbnail worthy. Look at that. I mean, that's probably, honestly, that's probably what the thumbnail picture would be. I'll probably snap some pictures and see what it looks like, and that looks like, you know, I'm definitely not no, yeah, that looks good to me. But anyway, I'm not no like YouTube genius when it comes to, I don't do no editing. That's one thing about my channel. You know, it might, you know, some people might not like it, some people might appreciate it. I actually get a lot of comments how people appreciate it, because I'm not going to try to sugarcoat too much. I'm not going to feed you no bullshit. If I like something, I like it. If I don't, I will tell you. All I can do is just give you my opinion. That's the one thing that when I started this YouTube channel, the main reason I started is you had a lot of people that was, you know, that had channels showing stuff, but at the same time they done so much editing and showed you, like, you know, you very seldom saw the negatives. And you know, it can't always be damn sunshine and rainbows. So if I make a mistake, you'll see it. You've seen me mess up colors. You've seen me, hell, you've seen me burn myself. I burned the shit out of myself several months back. You know, stuff like that happens. It's everyday normal stuff. So like I say, I reached out and tried to get a little bit of information from a few bait makers years ago, and nobody wanted to give no advice. You know, they was like, oh, here's a video, you know, Chris Jones has this video, and it was that getting started for $500 worth or whatever. And not knocking that. I mean, yeah, I guess you can, but you know, it's tough. But anyway, they really wasn't a lot of information out there, so I decided to start this, and I've had a lot of good feedback since I've done it. You know, I don't always have time to get because I mean, hell, I work for a living, so I don't always have time to really like do a lot of teaching like I, you know, would like to do sometimes. But I try to show, because I don't know every damn thing. I'll tell you straight up, I don't know everything. Most of the stuff I'm doing is stuff I've learned myself, you know. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate y'all, everybody that subscribed, you know, all the feedback I get. And you know, maybe this showed you something. Maybe you, like I say, maybe you're starting out and you need to, you know, learn as far as cooking the plastic and mixing and stuff like that, or you just wanted to see how somebody made fire crawl. So anyway, this is one of my versions of fire crawl. you know, if you're interested in seeing another one, you know, we can maybe further on down the line we'll make another one. But anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. I appreciate you. We will catch you next time.